We're leading with the breakfast cereal indicator, showing worried consumers getting careful about groceries.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business, dedicated to helping businesses save time on office tasks and empower leaders with business buying solutions that support teams to focus on growing the business. Learn about smart business buying at AmazonBusiness.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. General Mills has just told investors it expects sales to fall as much as 2% this year. Campbell's and Kraft Heinz also expect business to slow. This is everyday stuff, but a strong signal about the state of the economy. Marketplace's Henry Epp reports.
Inflation over the past couple of years has made trips to the grocery store a lot harder for many Americans, and a lot of folks expect prices will keep going up. That's influencing the choices they make when they shop for food, says Ed Johnson, who focuses on consumer industries at Deloitte.
The places where we're seeing that choice manifest is only buying essentials, right? So maybe think about categories in the grocery store that are maybe seen as simple indulgences or as nice to haves.
Snacks, soda, some shoppers are skipping those, he says, or they're trading down from name brands to the generic versions. But executive editor of Supermarket News, Chloe Riley, says those store brands aren't immune either because low-income consumers are getting pinched by rising prices for basics like coffee and eggs.
Consumers are cutting out many of even the cheaper items as well.
And all these consumer choices are trickling up to corporate offices, says Craig Rowley, who consults with retail companies at Korn Ferry. He says his clients are starting to ask,
what do our expenses look like? If our sales are going to be a little bit slight, what can we do to reduce our expenses?
They could cancel planned investments, leave open jobs unfilled, or even lay off workers. Rowley says his clients aren't making any of those moves yet, but they're exploring their options. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
The people with an optimal readout on the economy left interest rates unchanged yesterday. The Federal Reserve still expects to cut the cost of borrowing perhaps twice as the year goes on amid signs of weakness ahead. But the Fed waited this time partly in case tariffs spike inflation. The 10-year interest rate is down sharply now, 4.18%, and the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage fell to its lowest in 3.5 months. Stocks S&P futures are down 0.5%. NASDAQ futures down 0.7%. And who says the country is not getting better? There's news car and truck thefts were down more than 16% last year because people are increasingly doing the right thing and not trying to steal. No, it's in large part because two car companies, Kia and Hyundai, fixed vulnerabilities that have made it quite easy for people to hack into those brands without a key.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden Password Manager. Spring is a great time to clean up digital clutter. Bitwarden is password management designed to securely store and autofill all logins across all accounts and devices. Learn more at bitwarden.com. And by Odoo, offering software that provides building blocks for creating a custom software suite. Odoo, what small businesses need.
This week, a business reporter, yours truly, goes to the rodeo. What can we learn from people gathering at in-person marketplaces to buy and sell as opposed to all the e-commerce we do these days? Rodeo Houston is also the Houston Livestock Show, where it was easy to find teenage business whizzes.
And first place in this class goes to Madeline Glaze from El Campo FFA. Second place.
While pro bull riders and calf ropers vie for cash in the NFL grade stadium next door, there's another competition happening in a separate building amid more workaday grandstands and piles of hay dyed green. Young people from across the state show off in front of judges the best of their chickens, pigs, lambs, goats, and cows.
Tremendous class, guys. Let's give them another big round of applause.
You definitely look for their structure. Are they able to walk? Will they make it out and thrive in the real world?
Laura Cooper is a high school senior from Paris, Texas. She drove about 5 hours to show at the rodeo this Brahman, a breed that's beautiful but not always nice.
You also check their temperament. It would be awful if I had a crazy cow and would make it a really long day we're showing. So thankfully she's super gentle.
Cooper was showing Dally, who won several trophies at this year's rodeo. Now, what makes Dally worthy of show?
Her color, that red tinge, is just something that's super flashy in the show world. She puts her ears forward, makes her look like a real lady.
Raising and showing livestock is an investment business.
I had to get an ag loan through the FSA, so the Farm Service Agency, to buy my own calf to start out with in the very beginning. From then I learned, wow, this is an awesome opportunity. I get to build credit before age of 18. I was able to sell their offspring, so when they had calves after their show career, I was able to sell those, make a little bit of profit. From then on, it just seems like it was just a repetitive cycle.
Cooper now owns nearly 40 cattle in total herself. She's finishing up both her high school and 2-year associate's degree in agribusiness at the same time, with this goal in mind:
To one day become a loan officer.
to give farmers and ranchers access to the credit they need.
I do have somewhat of an idea about the worth of some things and assets and depreciating value. It is something you still continually learn every day, especially with the new current market trends.
Are you checking interest rates every few days?
I try to, for sure.
I find this livestock show is running thick with business aces.
My ranch is called Top Notch Cattle, and we raise registered Brahman cattle.
Baxter Whitworth from Henderson, Texas. His assets are winning trophies here, too, even as Baxter, age 14, is also building his media business.
It's time for another episode of the Cattle Innovation Station podcast. I'm your host. Sometimes we'll talk about ag policy, but mostly it's nutrition, genetics, breeding, herd management. Setting up a farm-to-table or a branded beef program is something that I've definitely
Back at the
thought of.
NRG Center in Houston, Baxter's trick of the trade for showing cattle is something that will also serve him well as a podcast host. It's about showmanship and presence.
Being aware of what's going on in the ring, where the judge is at, where other cattle are at, kind of how much space you have, to kind of be engaging and looking where everything is to make sure everything's all right.
Tomorrow, turning a goat into money for education as we explore the dynamics of a charity auction at the rodeo. Our Tricks of the Trade coverage is streamable from Marketplace Online. Also, how I deconstruct a barbecue sandwich at the rodeo to save 66% on the price. It's in one of our rodeo videos. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can search the handle Marketplace APM. I'm David Brancaccio with our morning report. From APM American Public Media.